After staying below 17,000 for a long time, Bitcoin right now is trying to break higher on a short time horizon. It's not a macro breakout. It is still a short-term move, which is actually giving a lot of altcoins room to run. So when you are looking at altcoin market, you do see the tide is turning. In a lot of different assets, you will see these movements. As you can see here, this one is breaking through a long-term trending channel. So that's a macro breakout. This one again is showing you that it is breaking to the upside. It had a wick to the downside, kind of a wyckoff pattern, after which it went up, tested this trend line and broke that one. That's great news for this particular asset, considering how it has dealt with these resistance. It's a trend line resistance and a horizontal resistance, both broken to the upside at the same time. And before that breakout, you had a slowdown. Now you come back to look at this asset and it is showing you it is breaking through this trend line. Now, not all assets are the same. We understand that, and that's why we look for technical details. This one is actually moving to the upside. It do have two resistance. One is the horizontal and the other one is the trending channel resistance. Great. Even though the RSI actually gives you the idea that we have chances that we are going to break higher, we do have to wait and see whether we are breaking to the upside or not. That is a challenge. And then you come down, there's another asset. We had short-term breakout. Agreed. RSI showed you that. Clean. But right now, you're actually reaching a long-term resistance. So unless you break this one, it's really hard to go bullish on these assets. So if you understand things correctly, yes, the market is showing you a lot of opportunities. Yes, the crypto market is showing you these kind of movements. Some of these are really running hard. And that's where we actually look to get clear idea of which asset is going which direction. Some of these are actually breaking through macro levels, showing you an opportunity. Some of them are just reaching a resistance. They may get rejected. So once you know what's happening with these assets, it's going to actually give you an advantage in the market. And that's why if you are looking for the macro updates on dollar, Dow Jones, the entire crypto segment, then you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below, where we discuss through all of these. And right now, looking at this, I'm like, okay, something is changing. You look at this. We had all these breakout calls. And right now, when we are going through that, as we had the charts before, these are breaking and reaching a resistance. Now, looking for the next level. So as we had the calls, now these are actually reaching those levels, which means buyers are interested in this asset class and new money is coming in, or the risk on sentiment is slowly coming back. But if you look at the Ether chart on a short-term horizon, we still have room to run to test this resistance. And this is something like, it's been there for like months. So we cannot actually deny the fact that we need to break this one. So what does that mean for the crypto market? Because we are getting the altcoin market is showing you on a daily, I'm breaking higher from the RSI. And it also gives you the clear idea that we are breaking to the upside from this pattern. And we do have room to run. Now, it's not like a 10x, but it is just 30%. But even that 30% run in the altcoin market is going to deliver 300% in some assets, because already with market moving 10-20%, these assets are like 100% up, right? There are assets which are doing that in this market. Right now, there are a few assets like these, say DAG is running up. You can actually see that, right? So inside this market, when you are there, you are really focused on what is breaking higher, which is your resistance trend line. So as soon as you get a breakout from here, which the macro is showing you for the altcoins, it will now indicate you that the market is turning. It's been a long time we've been waiting for that, but right now there is a sentiment change. Because you go into the market and you also see that the stock market is still holding this level. We talked about this possibility. Now it looks like we are going for bat. And the dollar agrees with that because the dollar just opened this week to the downside, which is actually a positive news if you look at that. Because on a daily, you see dollar going to the downside. You see gold opening to the upside, even though that's a bearish pattern. Then you see the markets. Dow Jones is up for the day, breaking through all these days. If you are a technical guy, you literally will be looking at this and say, I get this. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 days. And you broke through all those 10 days of trading range in just one day. So something is changing. And at the same time, you really focus on the MACD. And the MACD suggests like, okay, I'm trying to cross back to the upside. The momentum is changing. If you remember, we talked about this in the last video, where I don't think a lot of people actually got what we were talking. And literally, when the market is down, this is what will happen there. Not a lot of people will be interested in these because that's the reality. It's the hard part. Whereas if you go look at when the market is peaking, you see a lot of videos going up with a lot of different views. Whereas the reality is that when the emotion is so low, the psychology is low, people tend to look to the other side. And when the FOMO comes in, they come in and buy. But the way you make money in this market is when you buy at these long range support. Yes, if you bought first time here at the support, it was still painful holding for 200 days. I agree. But you will be one of those lucky guys who make 10, 40, 50, 100x when the market actually goes back up because you bought close to the bottom or you averaged down to the bottom. Not a lot of people do that because emotional ability is hard when the market actually goes down. Your emotional intelligence goes like a frozen ice cube when everyone is saying market is going down. Yes, the market will go down, but looking at different macro indicators, you can put this argument there. We have a higher odds for the markets to run up first before we collapse. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. As the market breaks higher, getting these breakout alerts may help you if you are interested in the market like that, because you do have tens of thousands of assets here. And if you're only in 2 assets, you don't need that. But if you're looking for 5, 10, 20 assets in your portfolio, then you may. Now, I know that was a long intro, but the market changing does show us, yeah, we need to know what's happening in the market. Yes, we do understand the fundamentals are huge. For some of the assets like XRP, not all assets have the same level of fundamentals because what they have built and how the adoption is growing shows us that green light. And then you also look at the other side, right? This is not an asset. This is eggs. And see the price going up in last 2 years. That's not egg getting more valuable. It's your currency getting devalued. A lot of people get confused like, okay, things are going so high, the price is going so high, they are making a lot of profits. No. It's just your currency is being devalued. That's the reality, because on the other side of this, central banks have been buying gold, giving you the currency, which is just a debt, receipt of the debt, and they bought in a ton of gold. Not a ton, hundreds of tons of gold. Now they're trying to convert that into a digital platform. Something is changing. And that's why when we look at this, the new economy is going to be digital. The new economy is going to run on the distributed ledger for sure. No one has a doubt on that. But when you are here understanding the fundamentals and say you are in this market, you will be like, okay, my portfolio has 10 assets, great, or 20 assets, but I'm top loaded. I strongly believe in 4 or 5 of these assets, and I'm heavy in 4 or 5 of these assets because of the fundamentals. But I do have some of these assets, maybe 5, 10%, which are heavy risk. Having the right balance in the market is really important because you do have risky portfolio, you do have fundamental one. And if you are combining that with the trading and long-term backs, you may get confused. So always having the ability to keep your trading backs different from your long-term backs give you peace of mind because now you're not touching your long-term bags. And these assets like XRP should be in the long-term bag because the short-term fluctuation, what you see here is 15%, and that's not a big deal, right? Because there are assets which are literally doing 30% a day. There are assets which are literally doing 50% a week. So you do have opportunities in the market if you are looking to trade. But assets like this show you higher potential when you are looking at those on a macro. Because the price blast or the explosion which happens in these assets are because of the fundamentals. And that's where we are leaning towards. If you are focusing on XRP, right now you do see that it's about to break to the upside, which is great because that's on a daily, it's not on a 4-hour. And then you are literally looking for the breakout in price. When the RSI shows you a breakout, it's usually a leading indicator which suggests we have higher odds that from this point, we have more buyers in the market than the sellers, which give you a point like, okay, if we are breaking higher, we do have resistance. It's not like we are going to fly high. We're going to first reach 0.4. We're going to then test 0.44. We do have a zone of resistance, which we will have to go through. The overhead resistance zone here can be strong. We'll have to see how strong the buyers are when they kick out those sellers in the market who are heavy on XRP. The way, people like, Novograts who are like, we are shorting this asset. We don't even know why this asset exists. And I'm like, you go into the market and you're looking at the market from last 5-6 years and you do see XRP in the top 10. And that's for a reason. Now, some of those investors, they don't digest the information properly or they're biased because they invest in some technology like this, which is outdated when it was invented, right? Because XRP already existed in the market and you got this system there. It's hard, but it's the truth. Then you are looking at the macro, not on a daily. You go on a weekly or a 3-day chart, depending upon, what you like. Then you get this confirmation. RSI did show you a breakout. It did retest. Now it's trying to bounce higher. So to get more noise to include in your analysis, you go on a 3-day chart and you look for the same. And now if this is breaking higher, that does mean that the market is showing something which you need to put into your account. If you have multiple exchanges, keep majority in your wallet. Keep the majority in your ledger, wherever you feel safe. But a little bit of that you can keep in exchanges. Why? You don't know when these assets are going to break higher. You don't know when the assets is going to do, like, clearly, if some of these are going to do a 3x, 5x, 10x, some of these are literally going to do that. We literally had calls on some of assets which are going to do 3 to 6x in a short-term period, and they're already breaking higher and moving higher. So if you are interested in that, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. And guys, if you're actually literally here in the market, I'm really happy to see, like, some comments are actually positive. Some of them are really neutral because the market is so bad, right? But that's when you buy, right? When the market is low, that's when you actually buy. And I'm really happy for the support which you guys actually give. So now when we look at the market on the Bitcoin side of this, yes, that's a short-term move. So we do have to understand that what medium term looks like, because we do have a huge resistance range here, which we will definitely have to go through. If the price is not breaking this level of 19,000, that's actually a red flag. But on the way, we will analyze this on a regular basis so we understand what's happening. Right now, the RSI actually gives you an idea that this is my trend line. I'm breaking through that here, and the price did break higher. Next one is going to be macro. So now you do get the point. Okay, we are going to test anyway the 18,000, 19,000 range. But what we have to understand is what about the medium term? You got that bullish divergence here with the price and the RSI. That's all good. That's all great. But what we want to see here is a breakout from this trend line. So this is your resistance here where you hit a bottom. So you don't have a resistance trend line literally to plot there from the RSI. So now you have to rely on this data. Either you can connect this or this, but still you get same trend line because the point we are connecting here is close. Now, you are in the midway inside this RSI, which actually shows you right now you're only 45. RSI is bullish when you're above 50. Now you clear these and look at the price action when it actually went parabolic each time you were above 50. Now that's a significant mark. You need to keep that in mind. 50 in RSI shows you we're trying to go bullish, but we are still having sellers in the market. So when you're above 50, 55, that clearly shows you buyers are now outweighing the sellers in the market. And that's a time period when you should not go bearish, when you should be focusing on opportunities on the bullish side of things, right? That's how the market actually works. Whether we like it or not, it does not care what we think. If you are a good guy or the bad guy, you can still make or lose money on the either side of this. But now if you see a breakout here and you see big influencers, YouTubers calling for like a bear market, it's up to you. But if the market is suggesting you're going to the other side, follow the market. That is what actually works. Not a lot of people are going to say, I'm buying this. If you want to buy, you can buy. Because, whether you are losing or gaining, you are also involved in that. So the decision which you will make is going to be the best to your knowledge. The market can go against you at one point because of a black swan, 100%. But you are trying to take the best knowledge for that trade. You are trying to take the best educated guess. So now, if you are trying to do that, keep in mind, risks are something you need to understand. Don't go super heavy on a market when we are not about $30,000. Yes, while you move up to 30,000, you're going to see a lot of altcoins running crazy. But you do not have a confirmation of a wave 3 in Bitcoin until you break this level. And as soon as you break this level, now you get the idea. You are going for the final top, which is going to be the blow of the top. Historically speaking, that has been happening in a short time frame. So we are looking for a short-term run-up, maybe 3 months, maybe 4 months, and you peak, then you drop. So be aware of people who are going to actually give you the narrative of next 3 years of bull market. Be cautious. Be cautious. When the price is going parabolic, when everyone is becoming FOMO'd in the market, you start taking your profits. Now again, when you're taking profits, you need to make sure you are taking them at the right time. You need to make sure you know these resistance line based on trend, pattern, and horizontal levels. You need to look at whether the RSI is actually showing you a bearish divergence or not. Because sometimes you may reach a resistance level, but the RSI and the MACD is still bullish, right? And other times, before you even reach that level of resistance, the RSI may actually show you a divergence. So here it's actually showing a breakout, so the chances are high that you break through this given a week or two, right? So you should be taking time to learn from this market, because if the market is giving you opportunity and you can't understand the language of technical analysis, that's going to be hard for you. And if you need some help, we're here. You can look at the link of Patreon. It's given in the description below. So guys, if you received value for your time, please do hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll meet you on the next video. Bye-bye.